So greetings, Leo. This one is for you. Hello and welcome. Thank you for choosing Tarot Illumination. This is you, Leo. This is Tarot Illumination. This is your mini love and relationship kind of generic report for the October season 2018. And basic notes, you know the routine. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Reinterpret as needed. Also, please cross-watch for significant others. That can really help too. If you really want to go deep into the spiritual aspects of things, please go to the other playlist. That's for the monthly journey reports, okay? So it's all out there. It's all on the channel somewhere. Just have to kind of cruise around. So the cards are well shuffled in advance. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. We're keeping it as simple and short and sweet as possible. We're going to use the crucible spread from Tarot Illumination on the understanding that there is the self, you. There is the other. And then there's a third entity, the relationship itself, which has a integrity, life, and a mission and a purpose energy of its own, okay? And hopefully in a really conscious relationship, both parties are aware of this and they invest in the relationship and they conduct themselves through the relationship as opposed to face to face. Next, you know what? Let's just do the notes here. So, what do we got? So for you, Leo, let me just do the Astro Doodles first because we've been doing this for everybody. I've been trying to share it because it's kind of a strange month. For everybody, not just you, Leo. So I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. Just focus on a couple key elements, standout elements. Let me just do the dates first of all. October the 1st, Pluto goes direct in Capricorn. Thank you. Okay, you probably won't notice. October the 6th, Venus goes retrograde in Scorpio. Okay, so that's going to affect like evaluations in terms of the deep intimacy aspects of relationship, okay, for everybody. October 8th, the Libra new moon, kind of sweet for you, Leo. October 10th to 12th, a big Scorpio stellium starts piling up, a whole cluster of planets in Scorpio. That could be challenging for you because it's a hard square. October 24th, the full moon, Sun in Scorpio, Taurus moon, okay? That could be putting a lot of pressure on you, especially because Mars is in Aquarius. So I'll show you that in a moment. October 26th, the Scorpio stellium amplifies even more. And for you, Leo, the North Node, the Leo North Node for everyone is still under a lot of pressure, so it might amplify even more for yourself. I'll get to those in a minute. So if you just look at the Astrodoodle here, this is the generic one I'll show you for Leo in a moment. These are the key things for the month, okay? The Libra new moon right over here, okay? New starts, new beginnings, that part of your life. Moving straight into, especially relationship dynamics, okay? I'm moving straight into the big Scorpio stellium over here, okay? Which is, because Venus is very much a part of this, going in the retrograde, very much to do with going deep here. Then moving later into the month, we've got the full moon, okay, over here, October 24th. So if you look closely, I'll try to show you. There's like this huge T-square going on, okay? I'm not going to pencil it in, just going to show you. This is very challenging for Leos, especially towards the end of the month. There's a lot of pressure on you, Leo, if you put all the Leos over here, okay? So this is a big T-square pushing on you. The way out is through Leo. That's where the empty leg is for the T-square. So let's put you on the horizon. Let's make you the star of the video here now. Let's put you here. So the big stellium Scorpio thing is going down there in your 4th house of home and family, the foundations of your world, safety, security, where you sleep, where you heal and protect yourself, home and family. So what's going on there? Let's have a look, and then I'll just go to the notes, okay? So you'll see in a moment. Leo Aquarius, I pulled this out for you. The number one thing that I noticed is Mars in Aquarius, okay, your opposite sign, the opposition. So it's full-on opposition right now. I know we're in Libra season, we're talking about Scorpio stelliums, but Mars in Aquarius can present interesting challenges for you, all right, dear Leo. So what I'm thinking here is that Mars and Aquarius can be quite rebellious, okay? Especially if it's in your solar seventh house or lunar seventh house or rising seventh house, whichever seventh house it is. So there's a potential for flare-ups, conflict, overexcitement, passion over love, disruptions, confrontation, possibly from the other in reaction to you. Okay, there's also a lot of pressure to, let's say, it, liberation, liberation for yourself, liberation for the other. What are you doing that obstructs the freedom of the other? What is the other doing that obstructs the freedom for you to be you? Okay, the next big thing, let's just look at it. This is the Scorpio stellium over there in your fourth house, home and family, like we showed on the doodles there. Home and family, issues of security. So having the chance for a huge reevaluation in your home, your foundations of your life, where you sleep, and the impact will be transformational healing in the foundations of your life, which would have like a reciprocal effect on the 10th house. Okay, I'll just show you that. Sorry, I'll show you that. Okay, look at the chart here. On your 10th house of career, destiny, place in the world, fated outcomes, like why are you here on this planet? So there's a lot of pressure points here. If this is you, Leo, you're under a lot of pressure from here, from here, from here. The Scorpio hard square, the hard opposition from Mars, the full moon opposition squares over here. It all adds up. There's a lot of pressure on you, Leo, okay? So you might feel squeezed, okay? Just letting you know. The things that are happening with the Scorpio stellium, I feel will have an impact on your love life, because a lot of our love life, whether we like it or know it or not, happens in our home setting, okay? And the next thing I want to point out is the full moon Taurus, okay? It's in the 10th house, well, career, like we said. So what's happening in the dynamics of relationships and home for you? Relationships and home versus career, career versus home. How is that affecting your relationships? What's going on there? I had a lot more notes for you. The Libra new moon. This could be sweet for you. This is a good chance to improve communications in relationships. Better for you equals better for the other. Better for the other leads better back to you. Okay, it's just a new chance, new beginning for, let's say, sweetening things up in your understandings of relationship. Okay, let's put that all aside. That was a really long intro. I'm sorry, Leo. It's just that I guess it's because you're Leo and you deserve the extra attention this month. Okay, I think it's worth it. Thank you for your patience. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. So please, when we do this, invite your angels, invite your invisible friends to join in the reading, okay? It can really sweeten things up, make it feel more like a team thing so you're not on your own, like, you know, it's not like Tarot Lumination is pointing fingers or telling you how to live your life. It's a group thing and we're all here for you, all right? Okay, cards are well shuffled. We're going to cut it up. All right, so this is for you, Leo. Bless this deck. Bless Tarot Lumination. Bless you, Leo. Bless the whole channel and all the technology that allows all this to happen. Here we go. This is the Crucible spread. This is you, Leo. What are you radiating in terms of love? This is the significant other, okay? What are they radiating? Over here, deep inside of you, what are you radiating from there? Over there from them, what are they radiating from there? And over here at the core itself, the crucible. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see this as a bowl shape, a structure that will endure intense pressures as we intimate and separate through life, through our relationship. Okay, and what is the momentum here? Think of this as a pump or like a living thing, like a phenomenon, or almost like one of those big circular fountains or something. It's a living thing. What does this living thing look like? The organism here. How is it growing? How is it blossoming? Over here, we're going to look at circumstantial energy, environmental influences, call it the weather. Okay, so you've got the King of Wands. My feeling here is that this is a real chance, an incredible chance for you to shine. Okay, Leo, there's so much pressure that you don't have an option. You have to shine. You have to be the most awesome Leo possible, which means like coming into your light. And it might be feeling like you're heavily pressured to do so. Let me go back to the doodle. Sorry. You know, a lot of our evolution and growth, spiritually, romantically, everything can happen under pressure when we're under duress. How are you going to behave? What decisions are you going to make? when you're in those challenging situations? Are you going to shine, or are you going to default to your weakest status, your limbic system? So there's so much pressure from here, from here, from here onto you. This is the empty leg of the T square. This is a big T square. Like it's big and loose. So the way to go is Leo. It's like the solution is to be the most awesome Leo than ever before. Okay. So let's have a look. What are you radiating from here? Okay. Okay, let's just admit it. It's tough. Let's just say, oh, thank you very much, dear Illumination, for saying all that. And it's very interesting, blah, 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 astrology, astrodoodles, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is this is actually very hard to do. And then Terra Illumination says, yes, but you're a Leo. You can handle this. You're used to being in the spotlight and figuring out ways to shine and to be magnificent anyway, especially when everyone's watching. And then Leo goes, okay, thank you very much, Terra Illumination, but seriously? And then Terra Illumination says, yes, of course, seriously. Of course you can handle it. You can handle it. You're with Terra Illumination. Terra Illumination is with you. You've got all sorts of other support systems out there. All those challenges are working for you. And so with the Two of Pentacles here, it's actual physical evidence of love, like the actions. Start from the top. Thought, well, your first feelings turning into thoughts, turning into words, turning into deeds, turning into physical evidence in terms of outcomes, actions, consequences. That's what I'm seeing here in the Pentacles. You're seeing in front of you what you're putting out coming back to you very clearly, like how your feelings, thoughts, words, deeds lead to consequences and outcomes, and then you have to handle that. You have to be responsible for what you're putting out there. So it puts a lot of pressure on you to be very responsible for the energy that you're radiating and the evidence of what it really means as it's being reflected back to you in love and relationship. It's a very tough juggling match here, but you're handling it. It might cause a lot of emotional rip currents in your life. Think of the big Scorpio stellium, which might make you feel as though like you're in some kind of tsunami kind of situation where you're having to prevail against these storm-like situations, but you're doing it, okay? You are doing it. People do. I mean, just because there's big challenging conditions doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means there's challenging conditions and you have to rise to it, and that's what you're doing, including in love and relationship, okay? So what about the other? Okay, well, with the Death card here, my feeling is that this is very much related to the Jupiter and Scorpio energy. In fact, the whole Scorpio stellium that's going on there in the foundations of your life. They, I think, are sort of caught up in that swirl. If you think of the storm situation that we were talking about, almost like a perfect storm, when you get these kind of whirlpool dynamics, you might be relating with someone here, Leo, you might be relating with someone over here who is going through deep transformations inside of themselves in a way that they might feel they don't have any control, where they're caught up in the swirl and like the whirlpool and the storm and the flooding kind of thing, where with the Death card, it's often thought of as how, because you haven't figured out, because they haven't figured out how to handle this energy yet, it's happening to them. It might feel it's from the outside. They might blame you. Like if they feel that they're going through a lot of turmoil and turbulence where everything that is not theirs is being removed and everything that is theirs is being brought to them through so-called fate. It's a major arcana here. So they might feel out of control of the fates, which could include you in the equation. But the thing is, it's deeply transformational. And I think it's happening for them in the home situation here in such a way that it's almost like they are the embodiment of anything and everything that's looking like upheaval or instability or deep transformational changes and healings that are happening in the foundations of your life, which can affect the big broad spectrum of your life up in the 10th house, okay? So if they are going through a lot of deep transformational healing here, or it might be very uncomfortable transformational shifts and changes, that could feel very uncomfortable for you. And the most loving way to deal with this is just accept it and understand it, not take it personally. Just treat it as part of the journey of what happens in a loving relationship when things are really, really stretched out to the max, where you might feel hogtied because you might be relating with someone else who also feels hogtied, but they're just having a different way of handling it, okay? So please allow for them to go through their like convulsive transformations, okay? It's almost like it happens to every one of us at some point. So we might as well just, forgive them and bless them and understand them and love them appropriately, okay? Even though it might be tough. Okay, so let's have a look. What are you reading from deep inside? Okay, well, we have the Five of Wands here, so it looks like you're really being pushed to the limits. But on the other hand, like before here, it looks like you are uh, rising to the challenge. It's in some ways, it's like it's almost bringing out the best in you, like these intense pressures here that we've just been talking about are actually putting so much pressure on you, because the worst thing that could happen to a Leo is to be seen to fall from grace. Okay, because you have such like a shining, bright, typically a healthy, bright aura that a lot of people count on. Okay, for leadership, courage, like, oh well, if Leo can do it, I can do it. Oh, so to me, it looks like all these external pressures that are happening through here, even though Libra energy and the Libras is typically comfortable for you and supportive, these other energies that are happening in the background, like rip currents and heavy, heavy undertows, where you might not feel you have much control, it looks to me that you are rising to the challenge and doing actually a really good job, because you have to. You have to in order to maintain the like the energy that's being reflected back to you. It's almost like heaven is saying, dear Leo, don't forget that you are Leo and you have to maintain your integrity, your stature, your dominion, your your drive, your passion, everything that everyone sees in you about being an awesome Leo. More than ever now, heaven is saying you have to be that. You have to be the most awesome Leo ever before. What are they radiating over here? Okay, so obviously there's a lot of upheaval happening with the other. So if you are in a position here, again, gosh, a lot of reference to the doodles. If you're in a position here, Leah, where you're doing everything you can to balance and hold on and maintain your integrity in the context of a loving relationship, even though it might be chaotic, loving thyself first, you might be relating with someone over here who could be showing all the characteristics of having a complete breakdown in some way, shape, or form. Maybe they are experiencing, again, sort of these fated energies where they feel they can't control it. They might be, in their own version, they might be completely overwhelmed by some of these energies. Okay, we don't know who they are. You do. But these are very intense energies for all of us, and it affects all of us in a different way depending on where it lands. Okay, it could be anywhere. These exact patterns are sitting on top of everybody. It's just a question of where. So, back to you, Leo. Deep down, again, this might be related to the big Scorpio stellium later in the month and the full culmination that might become more apparent towards the end of the month, like around the October 24th full moon, where this reading might make a lot more sense, where you actually witness in a significant other, perhaps in a home setting, in your most intimate settings, that there are these cataclysmic events happening either deep inside of them and it's actually percolating to the surface, where you might see or witness uh, being with someone who is kind of going through cataclysmic changes, breakdown, or something that's irreversible, by the way. So you just have to deal with it, and it might mean having to like recalibrate yourself and the relationship and allow them to live their life like after all this passes through, perhaps through November and into December. Okay, because this looks like very large scale energy for the significant other. I don't think of this as just a momentary little snapshot. This is very large scale, heavy duty energy. So please allow for that. Basically, there's a strong energy here of live and let live. You maintain your Leo integrity. You be the most loving, radiant, shiny, confident, inspiring, uh, creative, fun-loving, joyful, radiant Leo possible, and let them be who they are, no matter how shaky or scary or traumatic this might be for them. You can still be very, very close to them, okay? But they have to live their lives just like you have to live your life, okay? So there looks like if you think of this as the crucible, like if that's the shape here of the crucible, well, look, let me get on with the story here. Then I'll come back to this. Hold on. Let's have a look at the core. Okay, liberation here. So my feeling here is that there's some kind of almost like volcanic eruptions happening or earthquake things, dynamics happening in love and relationship here where you are relating with someone who's going through these huge shifts and changes at the foundation of your life, which affects the foundations of your relationship. So in a loving relationship where we intimate and we intimate and we separate constantly, constantly. For example, if you're in a position now where you feel very much like this, and you're doing everything you can to maintain your integrity, and they're getting completely shaken up to the point where the crucible actually breaks and cracks, which can happen, okay? Sometimes relationships are built on false foundations. And when the stress levels reach a certain maximum pressure, things can crack. If it's a really strong crucible, then you can endure the intense pressures. But it looks like we've actually reached a breaking point here, where there's some kind of crack or breakup in the crucible of the relationship itself, which is in some ways extremely liberating for the significant other and for yourself. Now, what that looks like in detail, that's up to you, Leo, how you reinterpret this. But I'm just trying to paint a picture here. When I do these things, I see them and feel them like I'm watching a movie, and I'm trying to narrate what I see and feel back to you. Prospects and momentum over here. Okay, it looks to me, it's like the end of pain and suffering. It looks like a realization that neither you nor a significant other has to be willing to put up with uh, pains and sufferings and damage uh, that's anymore. In other words, it's the end of it. It can't get any worse. So what can happen with the Ten of Swords here? It, it's almost like being liberated. It's almost like thank you. That it's almost like it feels weird, like for me to say this for you, Leo, but it's almost like I'm really happy that this is cracking up and this is breaking up in some way. It looks like if it was held together with a lot of duct tape and falsehood and propping up in order to try and maintain stability where the flaws are too deep to maintain anymore, and eventually things break up anyway. You know how like a dam breaks. It doesn't matter how well the dam is built. If a dam is going to break, it's going to break. And so in some ways it's very beautiful and liberating. It can allow a lot of energy to flow, a lot of pain and suffering that might have been buried or propped up or masked over with duct tape, for example, spiritual, emotional, psychic duct tape. And you get to release all this. It gets to a point where it's just like, oh, thank God this is over. Oh, thank God this is over. So what do we do now? You don't have to have an answer right now. The important thing for you, Leo, is again to maintain your integrity, allow yourself to live through the experience, allow them to live through the experience, allow for reality to unfold here. Okay, it's like to me it feels like this is energy. These are energy fields that you couldn't stop even if you wanted to. You can't, if a huge dam is breaking and you walked up to it and say, "Oh, excuse me, just not right now. It's not very convenient. I'll use some bubble gum and duct tape to patch over that bit over here, and I'll prop things up over here with a few twigs and sticks." It's not going to work, obviously. It's just going to go crack and then, you've seen those videos, slow motion when a dam breaks. So I see it as very liberating. It allows you to almost like to be reborn into The next level you allows them to be reborn into the next level you and end to whatever pains the relationship was containing or trying to hide in order to maintain the relationship and make it feel as though everything is okay or was okay. That looks like it's history now. So in a way, I'm actually kind of happy for you. I hope this isn't too scary. I'm not trying to you know, turn this into a huge disaster movie drama or anything like that. But it has certain qualities, epic qualities, tumultuous type of feelings here. So please allow for that. You will prevail. So don't worry, Leo. It's not a couple's reading. It's just for you, and we're allowing for their energy. Okay, please allow for that. You know the routines. I think I talked about them at the very beginning. So do what you got to do. All right, Leo. Report and check in if you have to. All right. All the best. Bye bye. Thanks for choosing Terra Illumination. Bye.